Hi there, my name is Brian Dunnett, also known as Mr. Tidbit. How are you? And welcome to my Fairness to All video. Yeah, that's the way I want to be treated. How about you? You should, and you deserve it. Now, it's amazing how many participants we're going to have in a residential transaction. I mean, there's the buyer, the seller, their respective realtors and lawyers, and all the other parties on both sides of the equation here, all working diligently, all wanting to be treated fairly with honesty and integrity to reach the same conclusion, success, and have a win-win for all parties concerned, right? But specifically, I want to just concentrate on the buyer and the seller who may never meet. Is there a way to create that even playing field between the parties a little bit? I think there is. I'm going to share some examples with you, okay? We're going to start on the sell side. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you're opening up your home. You're going to be looking for as many showings as possible. And I think it's important that you have a free and clear entryway. You want to make sure that those buyers and their realtor have safe access to your premises, okay? And try very hard not to be there for any showings and to contain your pets. Buyers are already going to feel like they're intruding on your home, and you want to give them the opportunity to freely walk through, open doors, open cupboards, and talk freely amongst themselves to gain the full power of what you have to offer with your home, okay? Also, if you're considering selling in the winter, then you might want to put out some summer pictures on the dining room table because buyers are going to want to know that you have green grass in the front and back lawns, maybe some flowering pots, maybe some budding fruit trees, a canopy on the deck perhaps, and especially if you have a swimming pool, that crystal clear look with those lounge chairs, hey, that's just a great vibe for that buyer to think, hey, this could be mine in a couple months' time, all right? Now, you might also want to consider a pre-home listing inspection. This might uncover any problematic areas that you could rectify prior to even you listing your home for sale, and that way that'll give you the confidence to know that nothing's going to come major out of any future report that the buyer might want to do on their own. And speaking of that, make sure that the buyer's inspector has adequate access to any of the problematic areas that needs attention. For instance, that attic hatch that's tucked away normally in a small bedroom, pull away any clothing, any items up top so they can get their ladder up there and shine their light, okay? And certainly in the utility room, the furnace, the hot water tank and the electrical box, clear away any items so they have access, and also around the perimeter of any rec room or bedroom because they're going to be looking for any water moisture down along the edge, okay? And finally, you might want to consider filling in a seller property information statement, or SPIS for short. Okay, it's not mandatory, it's not representation, and it's not a warranty, but it's a great list of questions about the structure and the environmental issues and the zoning issues of your home since you resided there, and answer them honestly, and it's great information to share with the buyer. They're able to read that and get a better perspective of what your home has to offer and all that it entails, okay? Now, let's look over at the buyer side now. Is there anything that you can do, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, to create that even playing field? I think so. First off, you're gonna be seeing a lot of properties with your realtor, maybe 5 to 10 on each and every day that you go out. And I think it's super important to be mindful that you don't own that property yet, and you should be very respectful of every home that you enter, okay? So try to show up on time, and then pay close attention to any showing instructions. You know, shoes off, lights on or off accordingly, doors locked, windows locked. Stay together. One person up and one person down isn't always the best way to go. Walk around with your realtor, let them show you the property, and just be careful as you're meandering through that you're not going to bump into anything and knock it over. I don't think you'd want to break anything, right? Okay. And finally, when it comes to the actual agreement of purchase and sale, I think this is an interesting point. You found the home of your dreams, you want to put pen to paper, your realtor's working out the details for you. We'll say it's a subdivision home. The 3 normal conditions are for financing, home insurance, and home inspection. They're worded in such a way that you're protected. If you can't meet your conditions, the deal's null and void and you'll get your deposit back. That's okay. But let's say they run for 7 days. It's amazing in that negotiation what you're actually asking the seller to do. You're saying this, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, could you please take your home off the market for 7 banking days? Don't show it to anybody else. Don't negotiate any other offers. And sit back on your couch and cross your fingers that I can meet my conditions. Yeah. Is there any safeguard for the seller here? Is there any way that you can tell them that you're already 90% committed to remove your conditions? You know what? I think there is. Because I think if you get pre-approved for your mortgage, that goes a long way to telling the seller that you're serious, okay? You already know that you can meet your commitment financially. You've already provided the paperwork to your lending institution. And that extra time is just for them to look at the other eyes that need to see it before they can do that rubber stamp. So pre-approval is a good thing. Home insurance, okay? Not a problem to get insurance on most homes, but if you're looking at property 50, 75, 100 years or more, okay, it's prudent that maybe you make a phone call to your insurance company first, because these types of properties, these companies, they frown on, you know, faulty wiring, faulty plumbing, inadequate insulation, and perhaps wood-burning fireplaces. So if you ask some specific questions, get an idea of what is needed to be done, what to do before and after, and get a ballpark figure of insurance, then again, you're better prepared to remove that condition down the line. And finally, when it comes to that home inspection, I mean, wow, just having an understanding of what an inspection actually is and entails, okay? For me, it's for the things that you can't visually see on a walkthrough. So is there any double taps in the electrical box or something that's more serious? Is there a problem with the furnace or the AC unit? Is there visible mold growing in the attic space? Is that foundation crack that you notice going to be problematic for water leakage down the road? I mean, every house in the world has got problems, so when you're visually going through on your first walkthrough and you can see that loose caulking around the windows or the loose hand railing or those punky deck boards out back, or maybe the shingles that might have to be done in 3 or 4 years' time, those things that you could probably take care of after you move in are not that concerning. You're looking more for the more serious types of things that you might have to go back to the seller and renegotiate a little bit. Main thing is you're already 90% committed and you have that understanding, right? So fair playing field for all, super important, folks, because I tell you what, when you move into your home and that seller has gone elsewhere, you both want to sit back and say to yourself, you know what, I was treated fairly, I was treated honestly, with integrity, I feel good, I feel successful, I'm happy, and you know what, that's really what it's all about, isn't it? I hope this has helped you. If you have any thoughts, ideas, please reach out. I'm always here for you. And until the next time, all the best to you.